So why didn't you run 7k? Okay, you had it in you. You could have ran 7k. The obstacle is the way. Ego is the enemy. If you'd have done it, you'd have felt great, better than you do now. Even though now I feel pretty good. Even though now you feel pretty good. You coulda, shoulda, coulda, and shoulda ran 7k. Okay, well no, because I could have done, but I don't want to overexert myself, and I have everyday pains in my calves when I wake up. And yesterday, after I ran and I went to meditate, and just doing that, crossing my legs in a half lotus, I had sharp shooting pains in my knee, in the inside of my knee. Well, that is just a temporary ailment. You have to go through that, grow through that. That is an obstacle, and the obstacle is the way. Okay, well, I don't want to overexert myself, as I say, and I can build into doing 7k every day in maybe a week or two. There's no sense of immediacy. I can just work my way into that. There's no point pushing myself, or else I'll go all in, and then I'll fluff up once or twice. I might go out, I might stay in bed later and miss waking up early, and then I'll just say, fuck it, I can't do it, this isn't me. Well, that's why you should do it now. The more time you get in, the better you'll be. The practicing getting up early and going for 7k runs. Well, no, because as I just said, I want to ease my way into it. Yes, but look at how much more progress you'd make if you did 7k every day, and then even more, and kept pushing yourself. In a couple of months you'd be running 15k every day. Okay, well, I don't want to spread myself too thin and try to put all my eggs in this basket and then all my eggs in every other fucking basket that I'm trying to work on. Okay, so that was some kind of dialogue, inner dialogue. This light is very bright. Hopefully I'm in focus to some extent. It's probably just gone 6 a.m. I was up at 5, which felt good. I got in bed for like 8:15, yeah, about 8:20 I got in bed last night, and fell asleep pretty quickly. I felt tired, probably because of the night prior. I did the runway show, and I still got up quite early, even though I went to bed a bit later at like 9:45. It took me a while to get to sleep. So yeah, 5k done. Yeah, calves were aching this morning. A much slower time as well. But this is the thing. Like, if I'm just constantly, slating myself, whipping myself to further myself in every department all the time, and that's just a self-development circus, a self-development treadmill of never stop improving, which assumes that will just bring you complete happiness. And there are people who are probably very good at what they do, and etc., but they're still plagued by their ego, that inner voice, constantly telling you that you should be doing better, you could be doing better, why aren't you doing this? Just perfectionism, And I use ego in air quotes because ego in Latin is I, and I think the word ego has been completely misconstrued. But yeah, inner voice, let's just call it that, or whatever. Devil on your shoulder. Are you self-isolating? That's the important thing. I'm only up at this time because I don't want to be running within 100 metres of anybody. There were 2 runners this morning coming around the bend as I was coming onto the track, so I just legged it for 100 metres, so I got that distance. They were very ignorant not to slow down. Are you self-isolating? Are you staying at home? You must be staying at home. That's just entirely essential. Do not leave your house unless you must. And I'm making these videos very quickly. 10 minutes that I could talk for hours. They're very short. Simply because I want to stay at home. I am a selfless, altruistic being. I do not want to put others at risk, because I might be infected. If I run past someone and I breathe, I could plague the air around me for the next 10 minutes, and anyone who walks through that cloud of toxicity, of, what's the better word, nausea, the noxious cloud, could be infected by my contagion. So, like, what is the deal with this self-isolating? I mean, we could talk about it a bit. I think so much of it is virtue signalling. I think a lot of it's shite. There was like an Old Spice advert I saw yesterday, which was like, stay at home. Well, no shit, it was like, stay at home. They're all about stay at fucking home. And I think a lot of it's virtue signalling. I think, I remember a few weeks back, past a cafe, it was like, flatten the curve. And it was saying, flatten the curve. And it's like, okay, well, thanks. They're just saying, my message is cohesive, is compliant, adheres to the social agenda. Thus I am good. Praise me. I mean, what are you doing? If you can tell me the steps you're taking to help flatten the curve, whatever. Okay, you're shutting down your restaurant, you're probably losing a lot of money, maybe you're resentful and bitter about that, but you put on the facade of, we need to do everything we can to stop this, and then again, everything we can to stop this, implying it's a huge thing where I am in Australia. And I agree we should be doing a lot, otherwise, we could just take away all measures, and it could perpetuate, begin increasing again. It could just exacerbate it. But I just think a lot of the measures are unnecessary. I think it has been a bit overkill. I'm not saying we should have done herd immunity. I don't really have an opinion on that because I don't know enough about the virus and the nature of how it spreads and everything. There are a shit ton of intricacies that people just go, you want people to get infected? Bad, objectively bad. When we don't know enough about the tons of factors that go into having a solid, somewhat stable opinion on something as complex as herd immunity. Well, for example, yesterday I heard someone say, oh yes, when you leave a shop or you're whatever, checkout, stay safe. And they'll ask, this Savers, like a big charity store, which is somehow still open, which is fantastic. Seriously, it's like, that's great. Also another bookstore's open, which is the best bookstore I've ever been in, and they're still open. And they just ask, instead of, how are you? Sometimes they say, I hope you're staying safe, or, you're staying safe. What? Within the 24 hours of yesterday to the day before, we had one new case in the entire state. So that's like probably 7 million plus people. A few thousand got tested, maybe more have got it. Apparently there are 26 people in hospital because of it or something, 13 in intensive care, and we had one new case. And it's like, I hope you're staying safe, I'll stay at home. And people were on social media calling people selfish for going out and stuff unnecessarily. So what the fuck? It's backward. It's so odd. It really is. Because people really do just herd. People really are just sheeple to quite a large extent. It's quite funny. And I do think, actually, because I noticed it when I come jogging, when about 6:30, 7, this place is getting quite busy. And I noticed at that time, that's the only times I've really had people like shooing me for social distancing and put their arm out like that, so the people oncoming are giving them enough distance. And I really do think people are exercising. It makes sense because of the nature a lot of people are, paranoid people are. It makes sense for them to be doing that because then they can just get their exercise out of the way and go home. And I stuttered there because not all people who are paranoid are doing this, and even people who are doing this because of that doesn't necessarily make them paranoid. That's just intricacies. So yeah, they're just doing that to get their exercise out of the way, some of them, so they can get home and self-isolate. And I don't know, it's just a bit weird. I don't really have an opinion on the opinion on the assertion that this is all happening partially because governments can obtain more control, so we're moving even further towards statism. Like 9/11 was, people say it enabled this era of surveillance, or the age of surveillance, where everything's being monitored and your data's being stored and you're being tracked, etc. I don't believe that. I'm not saying I don't know, but Bush did 9/11 so he could employ more power, so he could attain more power over people. Sounds a bit far-fetched, but it's there. Probably surveillance did rise, did develop after 9/11 quite a bit, I imagine. So yeah, I have no opinion on the coronavirus stuff in that regard. For a move towards statism. Yeah, that's that. That's me talking about inner monologues and stuff and coronavirus. I guess I can talk a bit about plan for today. So actually, yesterday I finished Robert Greene's Mastery, which was good. I started reading When Nietzsche Wept. I watched episode 1 of a German series about Freud, which was quite interesting actually, and it surprisingly, just from what I've read of When Nietzsche Wept, it went like hand in hand with the first couple of chapters of the book I'm reading at the moment, which is just a big coincidence, because the chapters are about Freud at the beginning. What else? Some of them are. Well, they have him in it. Yesterday, yeah, that's pretty much it. Did some work. Today, I aim to get back, have my shower, meditate, and then I want to get my breakfast, no shit, and read fiction, so my brain isn't sapped, and then just do like 4 hours of Rails, and I'd like to get into the routine of that. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a sec. And then after that, probably take a walk, do some studying philosophy. I'm about halfway through Descartes' Meditations, finishing off his third meditation now, and then I'll probably take another walk perhaps, and then I will read fiction, and then maybe watch another episode of Freud, and then sleep. The main thing I want to be doing is this Rails though. Yeah, I want to get on it with that. So yeah, that sounds like a good daily routine. Wake up at 5. I realise this is the time I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. I have loads of little bumps on my hands and stuff, and I can feel them now. Nice. Yeah, 5, 6. Probably get a lot of food out of the way for like 7 to 9, or half 7 to 9, and in that time read, and then hopefully I'll see how it goes today. But I would like to have enough mental focus, energy to just go from eating and reading concurrently to going straight into programming, and not being like, I could do with a break, because that's what I'm like when I'm reading Proust, or when I'm reading philosophy. I'm like, energy's a bit sapped. I'll just watch a few YouTube videos, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on Goodreads, go on my mail, watch a couple of YouTube videos, if my filter allows it, and then do some Rails sporadically, half-heartedly, and then say, oh yeah, I'm done with that, now I'll go read or whatever. So if I do feel my energy sapped after my reading and eating in the morning, then I'll just simply go from now, doing my stuff now, to reading, getting food, and then sitting down with food on my laptop instead of with a book. See how that goes. Hopefully today goes well. It's just beginning to lighten up now, and I'm going to take a walk back, and that was enjoyable. Hopefully I recorded myself, not just my tits, my nipples, my pecs.